everybody. Good morning and welcome back to DBS This Morning. Now, if you have just joined us for the very first time, then this is your official welcome to our DBS family. I want to remind you that I'm Chayla Mendez, your morning host. I keep you in the know, so that's why I'm going to let you in on a secret. Well, it's actually not a secret because the Windward and Leeward Brewery as well as Dubélés Bottling Company have always been striving really hard to promote wise water usage. Recently, they've launched a campaign called Brewing a Better World, and with that, they have donated 2 water tanks as part of the movement. So let's find out.
And we're so happy to be here today with Mr. Hippolyte because we are making a water tank donation. This water tank will be positioned at the Flora Villa, which is Cannery's hygiene facility, and is utilized by the people of Cannery's every day.
On behalf of the Cannery's Constituency Council and myself, I would like to say a big thank you to Crystal Clare in donating this beautiful water tank. It will go towards our urban facility in Flora Villa, Cannery's.
Thanks God for that. Because he had needed it, it wasn't good. Because when for people don't have no water, we are in a big problem.
We are proud at WLBL DBC as part of our corporate social responsibility to present the Lions Preschool with this 800-gallon water tank and to support the refurbishment of the preschool. We at WLBL DBC are really excited because part of our corporate social responsibility is growing with our communities and youth development, and the partnership that we have just formed ties right into that.
I would like to express sincere thanks to WLBL for their continued support and contribution towards our refurbishment of the Vieux Fort Lions Preschool in time for the new academic year 2019-2020.
Hey everybody, good morning to you. Wake up. Let me tell you, as promised, we made our way over to the boulevard because remember it is Mold Awareness Month, and thanks to our friends at H&L Environmental Services, we are in the know with that, and we are here to check out exactly what's happening and what they need you here in St. Lucia to know. So we have a special lady today. You may have seen a little clip of her in our last feature, but of course this is Ermine. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome, and I know this is something you're passionate about. You definitely have a love for what you're doing. So let us first of all start off by you enlightening us with exactly what your role is here at H&L's Environmental Service.
Well, I'm the operations manager and I'm responsible for the indoor quality assessments and laboratory services.
All right, perfect. Now, we caught her in the lab last time. She's a wealth of knowledge. So right now, what exactly are you all doing here today?
We are on the boulevard to sensitize individuals on what mold is, the impacts of mold, because we realize that it is a recurring problem in St. Lucia, and persons have not been reacting from a place of knowledge, and they're using at-home remedies, and we understand that this is not the way to go when it comes to mold and dealing with mold. So we want persons to understand what mold is, understand the impacts, and then they can better understand how they can go about dealing with the issue.
Okay, now just generally, I mean, when we think of here in St. Lucia, it's very hot now, we're very humid. So what are the conditions that, help mold thrive?
There are three factors that mold requires for growth. It requires moisture, a cellulose-based substrate, and time. But the limiting factor is moisture, so that is why you can find mold growing on any surface as long as the moisture is present and available. So you have your high relative humidity, which speaks to the percentage of moisture in the air. We are a naturally humid environment, but because most of our homes are naturally ventilated, you do not find a mold issue. But when we begin to close up our homes and we begin to create tighter building envelopes, you find that the relative humidity increases significantly indoors as compared to outdoors, and that gives mold whatever it requires to grow. You have water intrusion, be it through roof leaks, plumbing issues. A lot of persons have water seeping through their concrete walls, and that would create an environment for growth as well.
Okay, now, based on your experience and, of course, with the company, what are some of the common things that you all notice when you go to jobs here in St. Lucia?
While visiting commercial spaces in St. Lucia, the first thing we notice is that because persons are more energy efficient, that's the focus nowadays, they've created the tighter building envelope. So natural air does not really come in and the air inside does not really flow out. And coupled with that, you have air conditioning systems, be it a central unit or your split AC units, which are placed within the indoor environment. And it actually offsets what you call the psychrometric balance of the indoor environment. And it creates excess moisture and condensation, not only on the surfaces of those units, but on the surfaces indoors. And if left unchecked, that excess moisture allows for the mold to grow.
Great. Now, when we talk about mold, because recently we've heard so many cases of, companies or offices being closed down because of mold issues, what are some of the health hazards that come up with that?
Oh my God, they're numerous. So you have your respiratory issues. They would normally come up as flu symptoms. So your sneezing, your runny nose, your sinusitis. Persons who have asthma are more susceptible to mold. You also have your mental health issues. Some have been associated, especially depression, to mold. You have cardiac issues, worst case scenario, cancer, and eventually death.
Now, I don't know for cancer or the mental health, but I remember from personal experience, I was once working somewhere and I had a friend, and that's when I realized how poor the quality of air was for us, because every time she would come in, she was more sensitive than we were. And once she walks in, if she got a headache or her sinus was acting up or she started feeling unwell, then I know, okay, yeah. And that was almost every single day until something had to be done. So it just shows you that sometimes some of us are not as susceptible as others. So that doesn't mean because we're not being affected that it's not around.
Exactly, and what you're speaking to is what you call sick building syndrome. And this is one of the ways you can actually determine whether your indoor environment is unhealthy. So if you're inside and you're sick, but as soon as you step out for a moment, you feel better, be it whether it is your commercial space or your home, then you know that there is something indoors that is causing you to be sick. I have to add, however, yes, the focus right now on this month is on mold, but there are many other factors that can impact the indoor environment. You have toxic gas buildup, your carbon dioxide, your volatile organic compounds because of the poor ventilation. You also have dust mites because of poor housekeeping, dust accumulation, increasing particulate matter, and a number of other factors that can impact you on the indoor environment if you have poor indoor air quality.
Great. So what I want to ask, and I think that might be the question on most of our viewers' minds, is what are we able to do, just as a regular person, whether it's just at your home, to help reduce it? Because we learned last time from Millens that mold is always existing, it's always around, but it's how you control it. So what are some of the things we can do to help, reduce that?
As a layperson, one, cleanliness and ensure that your environment is dry. Because if the moisture is not present, then mold cannot grow, because that's what it thrives on. But if you do have a mold problem, we would just encourage persons not to try your at-home remedies, your vinegar, just wiping down. What we would encourage persons to do is to call the experts, especially if your mold issue is one, invisible. Because persons do not realize that mold actually grows in your ceiling, behind drywall, under the bed, under surfaces that you would not readily see, but you would feel the impacts. So we would advise persons to call the experts if you're not sure, if you're not familiar. But on your own, keep it dry, keep it clean, as simple as that.
Well, you know what? That's easy to remember. And St. Lucia, hopefully you are in the know right now. So remember to reach out to our friends over at HNL Environmental Service if in case you think you have a problem or any of the things discussed kind of hit home for you or ring a bell. So you have the experts here who can help you, guide you, and of course help you maintain and control whatever the issue may be. So, thank you so much. Definitely, I swear you are a wealth of knowledge, and it's great to see how much you enjoy what you're doing. So, St. Lucia, let's keep it clean, let's keep it healthy, just as she said. And of course, we'll see you next time.